to make my systems roll. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age. Oh, radioactive, radioactive.
Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we will dive into a disaster that deeply impacted the world, the Chernobyl disaster, and explore the dark, unknown secrets behind this tragic event. In 1986, the Soviet Union witnessed a catastrophic event that was not just a nuclear disaster, but also a mysterious, terrifying tragedy that turned countless lives upside down. However, beyond the headlines we often hear, there are far darker truths hidden. Are you ready? Let's step into the terrifying unknowns of Chernobyl. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant was once one of the Soviet Union's greatest power symbols. However, no one at the time knew how many dangerous secrets were concealed within this massive structure. The reactors at Chernobyl were far more than a modern energy source. This plant, once trusted for its technologies, carried within it the first signs of the catastrophe that would unfold. But there was something else: the Soviet government's habit of concealing and covering up dangers. Chernobyl's insecurity may have been part of a mystery that was never fully noticed. On the night of April 26, 1986, an unknown curse began to awaken. A safety test turned everything upside down. That night, an experiment on the fourth reactor of the plant turned into an absolute disaster. The system failed, and perhaps it wasn't just a mistake, but a deliberate one. In that moment, no one understood what was happening. The dark shadow of Chernobyl slowly spread. That terrifying explosion didn't just destroy a reactor, it claimed thousands of lives. And from that moment, Chernobyl's fate was sealed. What was even more terrifying, however, was the silence that followed the explosion. The government did everything it could to cover up the extent of the disaster. The truth behind the explosion remained hidden in the dark for days. During those first days, when radioactive materials were slowly spreading, the public still had no idea what was happening. And this fear became a nightmare not just for the Soviets, but for the entire world. The Soviet government fell into a terrifying silence to hide the scale of the Chernobyl disaster. Lies clouded everything. People in Kiev, miles away from Chernobyl, received no warnings even days after the explosion. The government wanted to prevent panic by hiding the true extent of the disaster. However, that horrifying truth was slowly making its way out, and the Soviets would pay a heavy price for it. People couldn't escape the dark effects of Chernobyl. The government's attempts to cover up the disaster cost even more lives. Who knows? Maybe those days were hiding even darker plans that led to more death. Then came the cleanup efforts. But this cleanup was not just physical, it was psychological. Because behind this tragedy, there were survivors. The liquidators, as they were called, were tasked with cleaning the area around the plant, but none of them could foresee the devastation they would witness or the effects of the radiation. Exposed to rapidly spreading radioactive substances, these individuals would struggle with death for years. Today, the survivors are forced to live with the memories of those dark years. But were they really alive during those years? Or do our memories reflect the truths that were lost in the shadow of Chernobyl? Who knows? Chernobyl was not just a city or a power plant. It was also a victim of nature. Radioactive fallout spread death throughout the area. Which animals and plants could survive this contamination remained a mystery. The Chernobyl area became an abandoned wasteland. However, the once thriving city of Pripyat, now desolate, was once a home to many. Now it's a dark, abandoned place, like a cemetery where no one dares step. What's even scarier is that nature is still intertwined with these toxic effects. Radioactive levels in the Chernobyl region continue to create an environment people are afraid to live in. Today, Chernobyl and Pripyat remain ghost towns. Even as years pass, that terrifying silence has never been broken. The abandoned city now carries the echoes of the past. The structures left behind are still sources of fear and mystery. Tours to Chernobyl aren't just a visit to a historical disaster. They're also a chance to witness the dark side of humanity. But still, do those who think about stepping into that horrifying region really know the consequences of their actions? Radioactive substances and fear continue to persist even years later. The curse of Chernobyl may have faded with time, but its darkness will never disappear. Chernobyl became a place where both disaster and dark secrets collided. The mystery behind this horrifying event still waits to be fully uncovered. If you want to dive deeper into the dark side of Chernobyl, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay safe. But perhaps you'll decide to keep your distance from the memo